Hello everybody and welcome to Storm Reads, and today I'm going to be wrapping up the Hocus Pocus Readathon that I failed at, and then just kind of giving you briefly what I'm currently reading. And I got a little visitor today. This is BB. Say hi. And she's like, now let me go so I can snuggle under the covers. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to wrap up the Hocus Pocus Readathon. I did not make it through all the books. You couldn't double up on any of the challenges. And even though I had 2 weeks, I think it was from the 1st to the 13th, I was in a big retro horror reading mood. And, or not horror reading, I mean horror watching mood. So I was watching a lot of horror movies and not reading. It happens. But anyway, I just wanted to get through the ones that I did read. Okay, I read Witchnapped in Westerham by Deanna Lister. And this was the first in a cozy mystery series, which I can't remember. Paranormal Investigation Bureau, okay. Series. And it was a pretty decent start to a series. It had a little bit of world building to it, because of the whole witch thing and her finding out that she was a witch, and learning about the Paranormal Investigation Bureau and all that kind of stuff. So there was some, like, a little bit of slow parts. It was just a mystery considering surrounding a missing person and not a murder, which was fine. Her brother goes missing and he works for the Bureau, and they thought maybe she could help find him. Maybe her witching abilities or whatever, which she had no clue that she was a witch, so it was all new, and so learning all that stuff. So it was pretty good. I gave it about 3 stars, maybe 3.5 stars. And then I can't remember the prompts that I read these for. I think this one was for a read with a non-human character. And then I read The OK Witch, and it's by Emma Steinkellner. It's a graphic novel arc, and it was really cute. I didn't care for a lot of the art style that was in it, but for the most part, I mean, the story was cute. It's kind of a coming-of-age witch story about Moth, who is discovering that she is a witch, and she always loved all things witches, and so she's really kind of into that, but her mother doesn't want anything to do with being a witch. And so it's kind of like learning how to be kind of normal but embrace your witch abilities and things like that part of you. And it was pretty cute, and I would give this about 4 stars. And then I changed up my TBR a bit because I just wasn't reading the books that I was supposed to. I ended up listening to The Whisper Man by Alex North, and I can't remember what I think I used this for off my TBR or something. I don't know. I can't remember. But this one is about a like serial killer, and he whispered through their door or window, and he attacked young kids. If that's really hard for you, you might not want to read this. It starts out with this one boy who was taken, and then eventually they find him murdered, and then there's a new man and his kid that has moved to the town, and some strange things starts happening with the boy, Jake. I think he can kind of see like ghost or something. It doesn't really ever come out and say it, but he's always talking to an imaginary friend. And well, it does kind of reveal a little bit of it, but I think he has a little bit more of an ability than just this certain thing, which I can't say because that's a big part in the book. But it was pretty good. It was decent. I was expecting more of the Whisper Man, and so I was a little disappointed with that part. I thought it was going to be more about the whispering in the window type thing, and really, besides them hunting for who they think this is, I mean, there wasn't really that much activity with the Whisper Man, so that was kind of disappointing for me because that's kind of what I was hoping for. Some people said this was really creepy, but I didn't find it to be creepy at all. It was actually, if I'm going to say, it was just a decent run-of-the-mill kind of thriller. There wasn't nothing real special about it. It was kind of slow in parts. I listened to the audiobook and that probably helped it, or I may not have gotten through some of it because it was just, I mean, it really wasn't that great. It was okay. It was decent. You know, maybe a 2.5, 3 stars. I think I was just disappointed that it didn't have like the spookiness of what I thought would be with the Whisper Man, and so that kind of brought it down for me. But you know, everybody's different, so I know some people have really liked it, so you just have to go into it, you know, I would go into it with lower expectations. That way maybe it'll be better than I thought it was. And then I also listened to In Her Skin by Alex Kester, I believe. And this one was a pretty good thriller about, it was told in 3 different POVs. It was about, if I can remember now, Rachel, who is the policeman that's investigating Salone, who is an actress who's gone missing, and Maggie, who is a debut author who has really bad anxiety and doesn't want to go on book tour, so she hires Salone. And then Salone goes missing, and you kind of get it pieced together in the different POVs, and it kind of goes back, and you kind of go back with Maggie and Salone whenever Salone first gets her audition with Maggie and stuff. And then I think it's more kind of like in the present time with Rachel, who is trying to figure out what happened to Salone. And then you kind of piece it together bit by bit with each POV, which it wasn't too bad. I'm glad that it kind of told me who was speaking, or I probably would have got confused. But it was the only bad thing about it, I think, is that it has 3 different narrators, one for each woman, but they all sounded the same to me, so that didn't really help distinguish the voices to me. I didn't even know there was 3 narrators until I looked it up and found out that there were 3. So, you know, that was kind of a bummer because I thought they all almost sounded pretty much alike to me. So, I don't know if that was supposed to be something like really cool. It wasn't for me. So, I gave this maybe 3.5. Maybe 4. I don't know. It was a pretty decent thriller. I mean, the ending was what got me on this one, so that's probably what saved it. And that's all that I read for the Hocus Pocus Readathon. Like I said, I didn't get through all of the books that I was supposed to read. I didn't get to the group book. I didn't watch the movie. And I missed reading one of my books. Oh, I was in the middle of Inside the Asylum, but I didn't get it finished. And I'm actually still reading on that one. And I'm also reading Hunter Shay's Slash. Buddy reading this with a friend. We're on the blog tour for this one. And so I want to get this one out. And I'm reading this for the Spookathon, hosted by Kayla from Books and Lala. And this is for my Something with Red on it. And so I'm also reading Beneath London's Fog by Iona Cadwell. I just started this. I'm only about 5 or 6% in. And it's told in first person. And I'm not really sure who I think I've just figured out that it may be a vampire. I think so. That's what I'm getting from it. It's a vampire's POV about his city, and I'm not really quite sure exactly what's going on, but we'll see. So far, it's okay. It's nothing big, but it's okay. It's supposed to be for a Spookathon for my spooky setting, and I'm using fog for a spooky word. And then, let's see. I'm also reading Hex by Thomas, I don't know, I don't know how you say that. Huvelt as a read-along for this month. So it's like a month-long thing, so I'm currently reading that. And it's pretty interesting. It's a lot different than I thought it would be. It's about a witch and a curse on a town, and some things are not going very good for the town right now. That's where I'm at. So that is everything that I am currently reading right now, and what I read for the Hocus Pocus Readathon. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.